Do you know why your child doesn't like to study? Do you know why your child is selfish? It's because your way of educating always tells the child one thing. You don't need to do housework. You don't need to do this. You don't need to worry about that. You don't need to be concerned about grandparents. Just focus on studying. Apart from studying, nothing else is important. Let me tell you something. There are obligations within a family. Since these are family obligations, they represent every member of the family. If you don't let your child take on responsibilities within the family beyond studying, they will become selfish. Life is not just about studying. And do you know what kind of children are the most successful? Do you want to hear the truth? The children who are not overly educated are the most successful. This statement is quite piercing. Sigh. You always think that education leads to success. Education is education, but it shouldn't necessarily be you who educates. You are their parent. So within the family relationship, it's not about making your child just a study-focused child. When they come home, you should be like a charging station, filling them with energy, giving them the courage to face the world, as well as the competition in school and relationships with classmates. Are you that charging station? Or are you the one that drains energy? Why do I think my life is so good? Because I am the public relations officer for everyone. My child's excellence is conveyed through my words. To others, it seems my child is just like that. You know what? Ordinary people can't understand my child. My child is among the top 3% or even 1% of leaders in the world. So how could the 99% of ordinary people possibly understand? Because they only use being obedient, listening well, and loving to study. Completing homework to define whether a child is excellent or not. Sometimes it's the world that's sick. It's society that's sick, but I'm not sick and my child isn't sick. If you can have this kind of confidence, what do you think? One day, when they are happily playing on their phones, many people are troubled. When it comes to playing on phones, my mother-in-law is very upset. She says, look, she's been on her phone all day. I said, how did she play on her phone all day? She asked me for the phone and I gave it to her, and then she didn't give it back. My mother-in-law was furious. Do you think I'm angry? I'm not. My son is very clever. He knows exactly who to ask to get the phone. This alone proves that his sense of purpose in the 6 steps of a wise person is not an issue. He is a very normal, leadership-oriented, results-driven child. He never asked me for the phone. However, I personally think it's okay for children to play with certain things, as long as they don't become so addicted that they do nothing but use their phones, avoiding that consequence. Actually, we shouldn't worry about them being exposed to certain things, because they need to learn to discern for themselves. One day, my son said to me, Mom, you know what? I used to really want a phone. I really wanted headphones. I really wanted to play certain games. And then one day, when I got all these things, I realized they weren't that fun after all. The best way to make you quit bananas is to give you £5 today, £5 tomorrow, and £5 the day after, continuously for a month, and you'll never want to eat bananas again in your life. But do you know how you are raising your children? If bananas aren't good, you keep saying, don't eat them, don't eat them, don't eat them. So it leaves a shadow of unmet desire.